Lisa Murphy wiped the sweat from her forehead as she finished checking the mining equipment on level 7 of Haven 7. The asteroid mining station was her home, floating in the dark space between planets. Her adoptive father, Alex Porter, ran the whole place, and she helped keep the machines working. At 19, Lisa knew every tunnel and room in the station better than anyone else. The alarms started, screaming without warning. Red lights flashed everywhere as Lisa dropped her tools and ran toward the main corridor. She had never heard this alarm before. It was not the usual warning for equipment problems or small accidents. All workers report to safe rooms immediately. Alex's voice came through the speakers. He sounded scared, which made Lisa's heart beat faster. Alex Porter was never scared of anything. Lisa ran toward the command center instead of the safe rooms. She needed to know what was happening. The station shook hard, throwing her against the wall. Dust fell from the ceiling as another impact hit them. Someone was attacking Haven-7. Captain Jake Mitchell met her in the hallway. The security chief's face was grim as he checked his weapon. "Lisa, get to the safe room now. We have hostile ships approaching fast." "What kind of ships?" Lisa asked, but Jake was already running toward his security post. The lights went out for a moment, then came back on dim and flickering. Lisa heard strange sounds coming from the outer sections of the station. Metal was being cut or burned through. Whatever was out there was coming inside. She made it to the command center just as her father was trying to send a distress signal to Earth. His hands shook as he worked the controls. "Come on, work," he said to the machine. "Dad, what's happening?" Lisa asked. Alex looked at her with worry in his eyes. "Unknown aliens. They're not responding to any of our signals. They just started attacking." He grabbed her shoulders. "Lisa, you need to hide. Now." But it was too late. The command center door exploded inward with a loud bang. Smoke filled the room as dark shapes moved through the opening. Lisa saw her first alien and her blood turned cold. The creatures were tall, maybe 7 feet high, with dark green skin that looked like snake scales. Their eyes were yellow and bright, and their mouths showed rows of sharp teeth. They moved fast, faster than any human could move. Long claws extended from their hands as they looked around the room. One of the aliens made a sound that might have been laughter. It was a harsh, clicking noise that made Lisa's skin crawl. The creature looked at Alex, then at Lisa, and made the sound again. "Soft meat," the alien said in broken English. Its voice was like gravel grinding together, crying prey. Lisa realized she was crying. Tears ran down her face as she stared at the alien predator. She tried to stop crying but couldn't. Fear filled every part of her body. More aliens entered the command center. They surrounded Alex and Lisa easily. Jake Mitchell appeared in the doorway with his weapon ready, but 2 aliens grabbed him before he could fire. They moved so fast that Jake looked like he was standing still. The biggest alien, covered in scars and wearing metal armor, walked up to Lisa. She could smell its breath, which reminded her of rotting meat. The creature reached out with one clawed finger and touched her face, making her flinch. "This one amuses me," the alien said to the others. "Look how it leaks water from its eyes. So weak. So soft." The other aliens made their clicking laugh. "Sounds, please," Alex said, stepping forward. "Take me instead. Leave her alone." The scarred alien looked at Alex with interest. "The older meat protects the young meat." "How strange." It made a gesture with its clawed hand. "Kill the old one and the armed one. Keep the young female. She will entertain us on the journey home." "No," Lisa screamed as 2 aliens grabbed her father. She tried to run to him but strong hands held her back. The alien holding her was much stronger than any human. Jake Mitchell fought hard, but the aliens were too fast and too strong. Within moments, both men were dead on the floor of the command center. Lisa screamed again, a sound of pure grief and terror. The scarred alien studied her with those bright yellow eyes. I am Skarthik, commander of this hunting pack. You are now my property, soft meat. You will learn what happens to weak species when they meet true predators. Lisa was dragged through the corridors of her home. She saw other aliens moving through the station, taking anything valuable and destroying the rest. Some carried the bodies of workers who had tried to fight. The aliens seemed to enjoy the destruction. They brought her to their ship, which had attached itself to Haven 7 like a parasite. The alien ship was dark inside and smelled terrible. Everything was made of metal and bone. Lisa was thrown into a small cage barely big enough for her to sit up in. Other aliens gathered around her cage, pointing and making their clicking sounds. They poked at her through the bars, laughing when she pulled away. One alien brought something that looked like rotting food and threw it at her. Eat soft meat, it said. You must stay alive for our amusement. Lisa pushed the food away and curled up in the corner of her cage. She had never felt so alone and scared. The aliens continued to watch her and laugh at her fear. Skarthik appeared and waved the other aliens away. He crouched down next to her cage and studied her like she was an interesting animal in a zoo. Your species is pathetic, he said. No claws, no fangs, no speed, no strength. How did you even survive long enough to reach the stars? You are nothing. But pray. Lisa looked up at him through her tears. Deep inside her chest, something was still working. A small device her father had given her for emergencies. She hoped it was still sending its signal out into space, calling for help. But space was big and empty. Who would hear her call? And even if someone did hear it, what could they do against these alien predators? The alien ship detached from Haven 7 and flew away into the darkness, carrying Lisa toward an unknown fate. The signal reached Earth Command 3 days after Haven 7 went silent. Colonel Ryan Hayes was drinking his morning coffee when the urgent message appeared on his screen. He read it twice, then called his staff into the meeting room. We have a situation, Hayes said as his officers gathered around the table. Mining Station Haven 7 was attacked by unknown aliens. All communication has stopped. We received this emergency beacon signal from someone on the station. Lieutenant Commander Kate Sullivan looked at the data on her tablet. Sir, the signal is very weak. It seems to be coming from a personal emergency device, not from the station's main systems. That means someone survived and is probably captured, said Sergeant Danny White. The Marine Squad leader had fought aliens before, but never ones that took prisoners. Hayes nodded. The signal is moving away from the asteroid belt toward unknown space. Someone is being taken somewhere, and we need to find out who and where. Dr. Amy Chun entered the room carrying several files. The xenobiologist looked tired but excited. Colonel, I've been studying the attack patterns and ship signatures from Haven 7. I think I know what we're dealing with. She placed photos on the table showing reptilian creatures with claws and sharp teeth. These are called the Kethver. We've had reports about them from other species we've met. They're nomadic hunters who travel from system to system, taking what they want. What do they want with humans? Kate asked. That's the interesting part. Dr. Chun said, according to the reports, they see most species as either threats or prey. They probably think humans are prey because we don't have natural weapons like claws or fangs. We look soft and weak to them. Hayes studied the photos. They made a mistake then. What else do we know about them? They're very strong and fast, but they rely on their natural abilities. They don't use much advanced technology compared to us. Most importantly, they've never fought a species like humans before. Sergeant White leaned forward. What makes us different? Dr. Chun smiled. Every other species they've encountered fights as individuals, but humans fight as groups. We plan, we coordinate, we use tools and tactics. We're pack hunters, not lone predators. Hayes stood up and walked to the large screen showing star maps. How long until we can intercept them? Their ship is slow compared to our vessels, Kate said. If we leave now with the UE's vengeance, we can catch them in about 5 days. Good, but we're not just going to rescue whoever they took. We're going to send a message. Hayes turned to face his team. These aliens think they can attack human colonies and take our people. They need to learn what happens when they mess with the wrong species. Dr. Chun looked concerned. Colonel, we should be careful. Starting a war with an alien species could be dangerous. We're not starting a war, Doctor. We're finishing one. They started when they attacked Haven 7. Hayes sat back down. But you're right to be careful. We need to do this smart, not just hard. The colonel looked at each of his officers. Danny, I want you to select 20 of your best Marines. We're going to board their ship and show them what human soldiers can do. Kate, prepare the Vengeance for stealth operations. I want to follow them without being detected. What about the prisoner, sir? Kate asked. We'll get them back. But more than that, we're going to make sure the Kethver understand that humans are not prey. We're the ones who do the hunting. The UE's Vengeance left Earth orbit 6 hours later. It was one of the newest ships in the fleet, designed for deep space missions and equipped with the latest stealth technology. The crew of 60 included the best soldiers and officers Earth Command could provide. Hayes stood on the bridge, watching the stars as they traveled through space. Dr. Chun joined him, carrying more files about the Kethver. I've been thinking about their psychology, she said. They're apex predators on their home world. That means they've never had to fear anything else. They don't understand the concept of being hunted. That's about to change, Hayes said. Colonel, there's something else. The emergency signal we're following is very sophisticated. It's not just a distress call. It's sending detailed information about the alien ship's location, speed, and direction. Hayes raised an eyebrow. Someone on that ship is smart. They're helping us track them. The signal signature matches equipment issued to mining station personnel. It's probably someone who worked on Haven 7. Then they know we're coming. They're staying alive and staying smart. Good. Hayes studied the star map. How much do we know about Kethver combat tactics? They rely on fear and overwhelming force. They attack fast and hard, expecting their enemies to panic. They've never faced an enemy that fights back with coordination and planning. Sergeant White appeared on the bridge. Colonel, my Marines are ready. We've been studying the alien ship. Design based on the sensor data. We have entry points identified and attack plans prepared. Excellent. Remember, we want some of them alive to send our message back to their people. But we also want them to understand that attacking humans was the biggest mistake they ever made. Kate called from her station. Sir, we're detecting the alien ship on long-range sensors. They're maintaining course toward the edge of our mapped space. Perfect. Begin stealth approach. I want to follow them without being detected. Let them think they're safe while we plan their surprise. Hayes walked to the main viewing screen, where he could see the stars ahead. Somewhere out there, a human was being held prisoner by aliens who thought they were powerful predators. They had no idea they were about to meet Earth's finest soldiers. Doctor, you said they've never met a species like humans before. What do you think will happen when they do? Dr. Chun smiled. I think they're going to learn why humans became the dominant species on Earth. We didn't get to the top of the food chain by being the strongest or the fastest. We got there by being the smartest and the most determined. The UE's Vengeance flew silently through space, following its prey with the patience of a born hunter. Lisa had been in the alien cage for 4 days. She counted the hours by watching the guards change shifts. The Kethver kept her alive with scraps of food and dirty water, but they enjoyed making her suffer. Every few hours, different aliens would come to stare at her and make their clicking sounds. They would poke sharp sticks through the bars to make her jump. When she cried, they laughed even harder, but Lisa was not just crying. She was watching and learning. She saw how the guards moved through the ship. She noticed which ones carried weapons and which ones did not. She memorized the sounds of their footsteps and voices. The small emergency beacon hidden in her clothes was still working. She could feel it warm against her skin, sending its signal into space. She hoped someone on Earth was listening. Scarthick visited her cage twice each day. The alien commander seemed fascinated by human behavior. He would crouch next to the bars and ask her questions about her species. "Why do your people build homes on rocks in space?" he asked during one visit. "Why not take what you need from others?" "Because we work together," Lisa said quietly. "We build things instead of just taking them." Scarthick made his clicking laugh. Weak thinking. The strong take from the weak. This is the way of all predators. "Maybe," Lisa said. "But you took me from my home. What do you think my people will do about that?" The alien commander stared at her with his yellow eyes. "Your people will do nothing. They are soft meat like you. They will cry and be afraid." Lisa looked right back at him. "You don't know humans very well." That night, something strange started happening on the HFY ship. The lights began flickering in different parts of the vessel. Strange signals appeared on their sensor screens for a few seconds, then disappeared. Lisa heard the aliens talking. In their harsh language, they sounded confused and worried. Guards started moving through the ship more often, checking systems and looking at their instruments. On the bridge of the UE's Vengeance, Colonel Hayes watched the alien ship through his sensors. His vessel was invisible to their detection systems, following them like a shadow through space. "Begin Phase 1, Hayes told his crew. Kate started the first part of their plan. She sent false signals to the alien ship's sensors, making them think other vessels were nearby. The signals only lasted a few seconds before disappearing, leaving the HFY confused. "Their ship is changing course slightly," Kate reported. "They're trying to avoid whatever they think they detected." "Good. They're starting to feel nervous." "Danny, are your teams ready for the next phase?" Sergeant White checked his equipment. "Yes, sir. We have boarding pods prepared and teams standing by." Dr. Chun was monitoring the alien communications. "Colonel, they're definitely worried about something. I'm hearing words in their language that translate to ghost and shadow hunter." Hayes smiled. "Perfect. They're starting to realize they might be the ones being hunted." Back on the alien ship, Scarthick was pacing on his bridge. His officers reported strange readings from their sensors, but nothing they could identify clearly. "Commander," one of his warriors said, "should we change course again?" "No," Scarthick growled. "We are HFY. We fear nothing." But his voice did not sound as confident as his words. Another warrior approached. "Sir, some of our systems are malfunctioning. The lights keep dimming, and our communication array has static." Scarthick's claws extended as he grew angry. "Fix it. I will not have equipment failures slow our return home." But the problems continued to get worse. Their navigation system started giving incorrect readings. Their weapon systems would power down for a few minutes, then come back online. Small explosions occurred in empty parts of the ship, damaging non-essential systems. Lisa could hear the aliens becoming more agitated. They moved through the corridors faster, their voices higher and more urgent. Some of them looked scared, which was something she had never seen from the HFY before. During his evening visit, Scarthick looked different. His confident posture was gone. He kept glancing over his shoulder as if something might be following him. "What is happening to your ship?" Lisa asked innocently. Scarthick's yellow eyes fixed on her. "Nothing is happening. Minor technical problems." "It sounds like you're being hunted," Lisa said quietly. The alien commander's claws scraped against the metal bars of her cage. "Impossible. We are the hunters. Your species cannot threaten us. Then why do you look so scared?" Scarthick made an angry sound and walked away quickly. Lisa noticed he kept looking behind him as he left, on the Vengeance. Hayes was pleased with their progress. Phase 2, Kate. I want them to know something is definitely following them. This time, Kate made their ship visible on the alien sensors for exactly 10 seconds. Long enough for the Kethver to see a large vessel behind them, close enough to attack. Then the Vengeance disappeared again. The effect on the alien ship was immediate. Alarms started blaring as the Kethver crew ran the battle stations, but there was nothing to fight. Their enemy had vanished like smoke. Dr. Chun translated the alien communications. They're calling it a phantom ship. Their commander is demanding answers that his crew cannot give. How are they handling the psychological pressure? Hayes asked. Not well. They're used to being the ones who cause fear, not feeling it themselves. Some of them are starting to panic. Sergeant White joined them on the bridge. Colonel, we're ready for the boarding operation. My teams can be on their ship in 20 minutes. Not yet, Danny. Let them suffer a little longer. Fear makes mistakes. And mistakes give us advantages. Hayes studied the alien ship on his screen. They think they caught a helpless human girl. They have no idea they just rang the dinner bell for something much more dangerous than they are. Lisa felt the ship shudder as the Kethver tried to increase speed. She could hear Scarthick shouting orders to his crew. The confident, laughing predators who had captured her were becoming desperate and frightened. She touched the warm beacon hidden in her clothes and smiled for the first time since her capture. Help was coming, and it was making the aliens very nervous. The hunt had begun, and for the first time in their lives, the Kethver were learning what it felt like to be prey. The Kethver ship shook violently as something hit their engines. Red lights flashed everywhere as alarms screamed through the corridors. Lisa felt her cage slide across the floor as the ship lost power and began drifting in space. Scar-thick voice came over the ship's speakers, but he sounded panicked now instead of confident. All warriors to battle stations, we are under attack. But the Kethver could not see their enemy. Their sensors showed nothing but empty space around them. Whatever was hunting them remained invisible. Lisa heard footsteps running past her cell. The aliens were moving fast, carrying weapons and shouting orders to each other, but she could hear fear in their voices. These predators who had laughed at her tears were now afraid for their own lives. On the bridge of the U.S. Vengeance, Colonel Hayes watched his prey with satisfaction. Engines disabled, Colonel, Kate reported. They're not going anywhere. Perfect. Danny, deploy your teams. It's time to show them what human soldiers can do. Sergeant White and his 20 Marines moved to the boarding pods. Each soldier wore black armor and carried advanced weapons. They had trained for this mission carefully, studying every part of the alien ship. Remember, White told his teams, we want some of them alive to tell others what happened here. But show them no mercy if they fight back. The boarding pods launched silently from the Vengeance and attached to the Kethver ship like metal parasites. The Marines cut through the hull in 3 different places, entering the ship from multiple directions. The first Kethver guard never saw what killed him. Marine Private Tony Lopez moved through the dark corridor like a ghost, using night vision to see in the shadows. The alien was looking the wrong way when Lopez struck from behind. Target down, Lopez whispered into his radio. No alarm raised. All around the ship, similar scenes played out. The human soldiers moved with perfect coordination, communicating through silent hand signals and radio whispers. They had practiced this assault dozens of times. The Kethver, meanwhile, ran around their ship in confusion. They were used to direct attacks where they could see their enemies. This invisible, coordinated assault was something completely new to them. 2 aliens rounded a corner and found themselves face to face with Marine Corporal Lisa Brown. The Kethver were bigger and stronger, but Brown was faster and smarter. She used a flash grenade to blind them, then her stun weapon to drop them both before they could react. 2 more down, she reported. These things are tough but not very smart. Dr. Chun's voice came through the Marines' radios. Remember, they're ambush predators used to hunting alone. They don't know how to fight against organized teams. One group of HFY warriors tried to set up a defensive position in their ship's main corridor. They had powerful energy weapons and natural armor. But the human Marines did not attack where the aliens expected. Instead, Sergeant White's team cut through the walls above and below the alien position. They attacked from 6 directions at once, using smoke grenades and flashbangs to confuse their targets. The HFY found themselves surrounded by enemies they could barely see. The aliens fought hard, but they fought as individuals. Each one tried to be the strongest warrior instead of working together. The humans, meanwhile, moved like parts of a single organism, each Marine knowing exactly what the others would do. This is too easy, White said as his team secured another section of the ship. They're dangerous one-on-one, but they have no idea how to fight as a group. Lisa could hear the battle getting closer to her cell. The sounds of energy weapons and explosions echoed through the ship. But she also heard something else, human voices speaking English. Rescue team, this is White. We're searching for the human prisoner. Anyone have a location? Lisa's heart jumped with hope. She started yelling as loud as she could. Here, I'm here. In the holding area. 2 HFY guards appeared at her cell, looking nervous and angry. One of them pointed his weapon at Lisa. Quiet, soft meat, or we kill you now. But before the alien could fire, Marine Corporal Jake Stone appeared behind them. He moved so quietly that neither guard heard him coming. Stone's stun weapon dropped both aliens before they knew he was there. Found her, Stone reported. Prisoner. Appears unharmed. Stone cut through the cage locks with a laser tool and helped Lisa climb out. She was weak from days of poor food and water, but she was alive and alert. Are you okay, miss? Stone asked as he gave her a bottle of clean water. I am now, Lisa said, tears of relief running down her face. How did you find me? Your emergency beacon. Smart thinking, keeping it hidden. It led us right to you. As Stone helped Lisa move through the ship, she saw the results of the human assault. HFY warriors lay unconscious throughout the corridors, defeated by soldiers they never saw coming. How many of you are there? Lisa asked. 20 Marines, Stone replied. Against about 60 aliens, Lisa stared at him. 20 against 60? How is that possible? We're human, Stone said simply. We hunt in packs. On the bridge, Scarthick was making his last stand with his remaining warriors. The alien commander had barricaded himself behind overturned furniture, firing his energy weapon at shadows. Show yourselves, cowards, Scarthick roared. Fight us face to face. Colonel Hayes' voice came from speakers throughout the ship. He had hacked into their communication system. Attention, HFY warriors, you are surrounded and defeated. Surrender now, and you will be treated according to the laws of war. Continue fighting, and you will be destroyed. Scarthick laughed his clicking laugh, but it sounded forced and desperate. We do not surrender to prey animals. We are the predators here. No, Hayes replied calmly. You were predators on your own world. But you made the mistake of hunting humans. Now you're going to learn the difference between a predator and an apex predator. The lights went out on the alien bridge. In the darkness, Scarthick heard quiet footsteps moving around him. His warriors fired their weapons at sounds and shadows, but they hit nothing. One by one, his warriors stopped firing. Scarthick heard the sound of stun weapons and bodies hitting the floor. Soon, he was alone in the dark, surrounded by enemies he could not see. Impossible, he whispered. We are HFY. We are the ultimate hunters. A human voice spoke from the darkness right beside him. You're not even close. Scarthick spun around and fired his weapon, but Sergeant White was already gone. The alien commander found himself surrounded by red laser dots as 20 human soldiers emerged from the shadows, all pointing their weapons at him. For the first time in his life, Scarthick felt like prey. Scarthick sat on the floor of his own ship's main hold, his hands tied behind his back. Around him, 30 other HFY warriors sat in similar positions. The humans had captured them all without killing a single alien. The alien commander could not understand how this had happened. His people were the strongest hunters in known space. They had defeated dozens of other species. But these soft-looking humans had beaten them easily. Lisa Murphy stood near the entrance to the hold, no longer the crying prisoner in a cage. She wore clean clothes that the human soldiers had given her, and she looked strong again. But what confused Scarthick most was the way she looked at him. There was no fear in her eyes anymore. "You said my tears were weakness," Lisa said to him, "but you were wrong about what they meant." Colonel Hayes entered the hold. He walked calmly, without weapons, his hands empty. The captured aliens watched him with their yellow eyes, trying to understand this human who had defeated them so completely. Hayes stopped in front of Scarthick and looked down at the alien commander. "I'm Colonel Ryan Hayes of the United Earth Systems Military. You attacked one of our colonies and took one of our people. That was a mistake." Scarthick tried to show his fangs in a threatening display, but it looked pathetic now. "You got lucky, human. Your tricks will not work against our main fleet." Hayes smiled. It was not a kind smile. "Tricks? Let me explain something to you about humans, Scarthick. We didn't become the dominant species on Earth because we were the strongest or the fastest. We became dominant because we're the smartest." Dr. Chun entered the hold carrying a portable computer. She placed it where all the aliens could see the screen. Images appeared showing Earth's history. "This is our home world," Haz said. "Millions of years ago, we were weak prey animals. We had no claws, no fangs, no natural armor. Much weaker than you HFY. The screen showed early humans running from large predators. But we had something other species didn't have. We had big brains, and we learned to work together." New images showed humans hunting in groups, using tools and fire. "We didn't just become predators. We became the ultimate predators. We hunted animals 10 times our size by working as teams. We used tools to make ourselves stronger than any natural predator." Scarthick watched the images with growing unease. "This proves nothing. You are still soft meat." "Are we?" Hayes asked. "Tell me, Scarthick, how many of your warriors did my 20 soldiers kill today?" The alien commander's jaw tightened. "None, exactly. We defeated 60 of your best warriors without killing anyone. Do you know why?" Scarthick said nothing. "Because we didn't need to kill you to win. That's the difference between predators and apex predators. Predators kill because they have to. Apex predators kill only when they choose to." Lisa stepped forward. "You laughed at my tears, but you didn't understand what they were. They weren't just fear. They were a signal." Hayes nodded. "Humans have the strongest pack bonds of any known species. When one of us is threatened, the rest of us respond. Always." Dr. Chun changed the image on the screen. Now it showed star maps with Earth at the center. "We've been watching your people for months, Scarthick. We know where every HFY ship is located. We know where your home colonies are. We know everything about you." The alien commander's eyes widened. "Impossible. We are nomadic. We move constantly." "Not constantly enough," Hayes said. "Human tracking technology is beyond anything you've seen. We've been following your entire civilization without you knowing it." Kate Sullivan entered the hold carrying a data pad. "Colonel, we've confirmed the locations of 17 HFY fleets and 5 permanent settlements. Our ships are in position around all of them. Scarthick looked confused and afraid. What do you want from us? Hayes sat down in front of the alien commander, bringing himself to eye level. I want you to go back to your people and deliver a message. Tell them that humans are not prey. Tell them what happened here today. And if we refuse? The screen changed again, showing Earth's military fleet. Hundreds of advanced warships filled the display. Then we'll deliver the message ourselves, to every Kethver in space. Dr. Chun added more information. Your people attack other species because you see them as weak. But you've never fought a species that evolved the way humans did. Every war we've ever fought has made us better at fighting the next one. Hayes stood up and walked around the captured aliens. We spent thousands of years fighting each other before we reached the stars. We know every possible way to hunt, to track, to defeat an enemy. What you saw today was just a small sample. Sergeant White appeared in the doorway. Colonel, we've finished examining their ship. Their technology is at least 50 years behind ours. Their weapons, their sensors, their engines, all inferior to human equipment. But we're not just better at technology, Hayes continued. We're better at working. Together, every human soldier knows exactly what every other human soldier will do. We think as one mind with many bodies. Lisa looked at Scarthick with something that might have been pity. You capture individuals and think you're strong. But humans never fight as individuals. When you took me, you weren't just fighting one. Girl, you were fighting all of humanity. Hayes returned to stand in front of Scarthick. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to let you go. You'll take your ship and return to your people. You'll tell them that Earth is off limits. You'll tell them that any attack on humans will be met with overwhelming force. And you think they will listen? Scarthick asked. They'll listen because you're going to tell them the truth. That you met a species more dangerous than anything you've ever encountered. That humans don't just defend themselves. They hunt down anyone who threatens their pack members. Dr. Chun showed the final image on her screen. It was Earth itself, blue and beautiful, surrounded by defensive satellites and patrol ships. This is what an apex predator's home looks like, Hayes said. Protected, organized, and ready for anything. Your people are nomads because you take what you need from others. We build what we need because we can. Hayes gestured to his soldiers. Release them. Give them back their ship. Make sure they have enough fuel to reach their people. As the restraints came off, Scarthick rubbed his wrists and stared at the humans. Why are you letting us go? Because dead enemies can't deliver messages, Hayes replied. And because we want your people to know exactly what they're dealing with if they ever threaten humans again. Lisa walked up to Scarthick one last time. You said humans were crying prey, but you were wrong about what my tears meant. They meant my family was coming for me. And when humans come for their family, nothing in the universe can stop them. The Kethver warriors filed out of the hold, escorted by human marines to their repaired ship. Scarthick was the last to leave. At the doorway, he turned back to look at Hayes. What are you really? The alien commander asked. Hayes smiled that cold smile again. We're humans. We're the species that turned a planet full of predators into our hunting ground. We're the ones who looked at the stars and decided they belonged to us too. We're what happens when prey becomes predator, and predator becomes apex predator. And now you know what happens when someone threatens our pack. As the Kethver ship flew away into space, Lisa stood beside Colonel Hayes watching it disappear. Do you think they'll listen? She asked. They'll listen, Hayes replied. Because now they know the truth. Humans aren't the prey in this universe. We're the ones everything else should be afraid of. The UE's vengeance turned toward Earth, carrying Lisa home to safety. Behind them, the Kethver ship carried a message that would change how every alien species in the galaxy looked at humanity. Ultimate predators had revealed themselves, and the universe would never be the same.